Donald Trump was speaking to, who is the journalist he's speaking to? I love him. I used to like him a lot because he was sort of Terry Moran, yeah. Because Trump says, I never heard of you. And I forgot his last name, but I know the name Terry. I feel like he was big in the Obama years. And I always didn't hate him. Anyway, and he's aged well. Anyway, that's just me. This is just me doing a Trump. He's aged very nicely, nice salt and pepper hair. Here he is. And my critique of Terry in this moment is you stick with this issue. You stop trying to move on. My guy is telling you that something that was photoshopped is not photoshopped. You need to stick on this issue and just kind of hand his ass to him. But Donald Trump, because he's in true form, allows himself to have his own ass handed to him because he will not let it go. As you know, there was evidence circulated, I believe by DHS, but I'm double checking it. Pictures of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man who was deported, Salvadoran man who was deported to Sikot, ordered by the Supreme Court to be returned. Images of his tattoos on his fingers. And what DHS had done was basically photoshopped the letters MS-13 over his knuckles in order to say, look, the tattoos that are on his fingers mean MS-13. That is what they mean. That's the intention behind them. Yeah, and as Gary Cooper mentions on YouTube, it is very unskilled Photoshop. This is not hard. And so this is Donald Trump swearing, and there is no difference than old racist man on porch mad at thing he saw online and our president.
He wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because...
First of all, I love the idea that Terry Moran is given a break of a lifetime. I'm sorry, but this dude's been covering the White House for decades now. All right? You're being given the break of a lifetime. Now he's got to disrespect him because Terry, what do you mean a Photoshop? No.
Because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No.
I love how also partly Trump's I don't know what to say about Ukraine. So no, we're sticking. Let's stick with it. So Terry's trying to give him a pass. Okay, there was different understandings of what that was. It was interpreted to mean MS-13. No. Terry, man, I've never heard of.
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news because
I love the sigh. Well, the Gramps. Oh my God. Again, this is me explaining to my mom that the viral video she saw of a baby bear being chased by a coyote for miles and miles and miles and then jumping into the river and then being, falling down a massive rapid and then emerging from the bottom of the waterfall and shaking it off, that was just a scene from the movie The Bear. I know, Mom, you thought you saw a nature video that actually, no, that was a staged. It's called The Bear. It's a good movie, but it didn't actually happen. And she's like, no. I saw it. On I know it was on the internet. I know. But it's just so good. No. Hang on. And the sighs are so telling.
Photographed in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but
they're in your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't you just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
why don't you just say yes? Why don't you just agree with me and then go on? I can't lose on this. And he's trying to give him, no, there's new photos. Haven't you seen the new photos? No, that's not on his knuckles. It is so insane. Now, obviously, if it's important to to look at it, to see, here is Donald Trump holding a picture. This is not photoshopped. He is holding a picture of what he is describing. And he was given this photo of Kilmar's knuckles. And on top of it, very clearly in the same ink used to write Kilmar Abrego Garcia MS-13 tattoo. I mean, this is like, I feel like I don't even know how dumb you have to be anymore. Like this is just reality. And again, this is whatever the fascist leader says is up is up. So okay, that it just says MS-13, that actually in a completely different font, in a different a thicker, sharper color, almost like a printer, but certainly not a printer. Above the tattoos, it says MS-13. That's yeah, sure. And a little off-centered, right? Not directly on top of the other tattoos, a little bit off-centered, and it doesn't, sort of flat, very, very flat, opaque. Like, you gotta be so dumb. You gotta be so dumb. And then, as if we needed to show this, here is I believe, another photo of him. I don't think it was from after when he was actually in El Salvador, because I think, actually, no, we've seen those photos of him meeting with Senator Van Hollen, but here he is separately, again, Chicago Bulls hat, which is supposedly a telltale MS-13 sign. And there's his knuckles. I don't see an M. I don't see an S. I don't see a 1. Or I see a cross. I don't see a 3. Like, the man doesn't have the criminal record. The cop who got info from a faulty informant has resigned, was kicked off the force because he gave information to a sex worker. I mean, this is the kind of scum. Meanwhile, Kilmar is in a black site. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.